Namaste. Welcome to Summer of Love Workshop. This is part 6. So here we are, our 6th week of the Summer of Love. So let's come to our comfortable seated position. Get ready for our practice of the breath. And then today we're moving on to Utkatasana, which is also called the chair pose. And we're also going to be doing the forward bend or Padangusthasana. So find your way, get your knees nice and comfortable. Interlace your hands in your lap, pull those shoulders straight across, kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then close your eyes. Let it go. So as we sit here with that lock of hair dangling us from the ceiling, lengthening our spine, letting our heart soar, feel your legs and your hips rooting into the earth. Feel your spine getting a little bit longer. Opening up that lower back in our seated position, making a nice seated position that you could sit for a long time without compromising any joints in your body. So as we sit here, observing the breath flowing in, flowing out, all by itself, notice the lungs, how much they expand, and how much air you release and let go. Just take notice, allowing it all to do on its own. Soften your face, relax your jaw inside your closed lips. Allowing the breath to warm our body up by keeping our mouth closed, as well as keep generating energy as we breathe and start to practice the Ujjayi breath. So let's begin to take control of the breath, inhaling as slow as you can and exhaling even slower. Every inhale, take a little more in, like you're blowing up your balloon a little further. And every exhale, squeeze your belly back to your spine, trying to push out a little bit more of the air. Inhaling all the fresh and new, let it cleanse your body over. Exhale, release, and let go. Let go of the past, the future, and just come right here, right now to honor you on your mat. And as you breathe, start to constrict the back of your throat, pressing against the air as it flows in and out very gently, not too hard, making a sound like Darth Vader or a fireman in his gear. If it starts to tickle or cause you to cough, you're just pushing a little too hard. So always, everything we do in this practice is observing and honoring a balance that's just right for you. So with our mouth closed and creating that friction, we're creating heat and energy. Reminding ourselves that the breath is the most important nutrient we bring into our bodies. Every cell in our body needs oxygen to function, as well as our body needs the waste product to be released through our breath. So we're going to practice this wonderful breath, trying to make it as long and as slow as we can, because our breath creates our pace. So we're going to inhale to the count of 1 and exhale to the count of 2. We'll go all the way up to 8 and 16. At any time you need to back off, always honor you. Every day is different, so honor the moment in the day. So let's exhale all the air out and inhale 1, exhale 1, 2. Inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And breathe. Slowly open your eyes. So we're going to take a moment to talk about the breath. I always like to add a little more in. So when we breathe, our body is elongated. That's going to create a larger space for our diaphragm to pull down, to open our lungs, to get as much air to come in as possible. And then when we exhale, we're actually shortening this area by pulling our core in and letting the air kind of push up and out. So in our flow of our practice, every time we inhale, we generally are doing a heart opener where we're opening our heart, lifting it, lengthening our spine, getting as much space as we can here. And when we're exhaling, usually that's a folding in, a tucking in of our core as well as folding forward. So that inhale, lift and open, exhale, close in and fold. So that top part of our practice is included within the pace. So everything's correlated. No matter what we're doing in yoga, there is a correlation. And generally, when we do one posture, we have a counter posture for that posture so that we are constantly getting that balance, okay? So if I'm engaging my core on the exhale, then my next counter posture would be opening up my heart, lengthening these muscles and engaging my back muscles. So when I fold forward, I'm shortening these, engaging them. And when I lift my heart, my back muscles are engaging and I'm stretching the front. So it's always that yin and yang, that balancing. So let's step up to the top of your mat. And I'm going to demonstrate Utkatasana. I can't say it. Utkatasana. And what this is the chair posture. This posture is going to strengthen everything from your fingertips down to your feet. So it's our first standing posture that we've done. And standing postures are awesome for our bone structure as far as strengthening our bones, creating more dense bones because we're utilizing them, we're using them, gravity's pulling on us, and we're creating blood flow to our bones. So this is good for our bone structure. All right, so let's start off by talking about Utkatasana. So the first thing we're going to do with Utkatasana is we're going to be folding forward, okay? I'm going to take this off so I demonstrate clearly to you. All right, so we want our feet comfortably. It can be hip width apart. Everyone's going to be a little different, so honor you. So here's what it looks like. We're going to bring our hands in front of our hearts. And this Utkatasana was actually in our Surya Namaskara A B, our last video, part 5. So here's what it looks like. We're going to inhale, we're going to bend our knees, and we're going to bring our fingertips right down towards the floor. If we can touch, that's good. And then we're going to bring them to our sides and come straight up and sit back in our chair. So in this posture, our arms are at our ears, our hands are engaged, our forearms are engaged. We're going to soften our shoulders a little bit. Our knees are bent. When our knees are bent, we are creating strength and in our thighs, helping to hold our knees and our knee joints in a beautiful position. So this is what it looks like sideways. So let me come forward. Now I like to, everyone's different,
So you got to put your feet where you like it, but I like my feet together, my knees together. So when I go down, I'm inhaling, bending the knees, reaching for the ground, and coming up to Utkatasana. So I like my legs are supporting each other. My hands are engaged, my forearms are engaged. Now, if my back is not feeling it, that means my lower back, I want to pull my heart forward. So I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. So if I'm up like this, my back says, ugh, I want to just kind of bring it forward. So I'm always adjusting. So every day is different. Remember, even every moment. So you might get into a posture. When we get into the standing postures, we want to hold them for 5 breaths. Generally, that's the goal. Sometimes we do 3, and every day is different. So if you can do 2 breaths and your body says, okay, that's enough, you come out of the posture. You never stay anywhere where your body's telling you it's not a good thing anymore. So we have to honor our bodies. That's what's so awesome about yoga is you take it and you change it for you. So let's do it again. And we're going to move on to the next part of Utkatasana. So find your footing and find where it feels most comfortable when you're in a squat like this, and then stand up straight. Lift your heart. We're always trying to fold from our hips and also with our spine straight and long. So we're going to inhale, bend your knees, reach for the floor and up to Utkatasana. All right, let's come out of that and let's talk about our dristi. So we need to make sure that our eyes are on a concrete object at all times. If we move our eyes up and down too fast, we're going to cause an inner ear issue and maybe a stomach issue. So let's try it again. This time, let's talk about the dristi. So hands in front of your heart, you're gazing straight forward. And we're going to inhale, take your gaze down the wall, across the floor to where your hands go. And then take your gaze across the floor and up the wall, right across from your eyes. And breathe. Nice deep breaths, adjusting for you. Hands engaged, forearms are engaged. So now we're going to transition into the next part of Utkatasana, is that taking our hips back, fingertips forward. Our arms stay at our ears, and we're going to lower our thighs to be parallel to the earth. Take your time, breathe. I'm pulling with my hands forward, and the weight of my hips are pulling in the opposite direction. And I'm just breathing here, feeling my quads work even harder. And release your hands to the ground, dangle your head, and then we're going to inhale your heart, your arms all the way up. And exhale, Samastiti. All right, just an easy way to come out of that. Now, the next part of Utkatasana's progression here, it's like a little series of its own, is we go from our chair posture to our lower squat, and then we go into an arm balancing. Now, arm balancing is not for everyone, so make sure you honor you. Generally, the arm balancing can be with our feet on the ground, so our arms are not doing all the work. You can keep your feet on the ground, or you can use your core to exhale, lifting your feet off the ground. So I'm going to demonstrate that. We'll go through the sequence again, and then we'll go into what is called Bakasana, which is the crow, which is wonderful progression of our Utkatasana. So we got Utkatasana and Bakasana. All right, so here we go. Find your footing. Find your footing that feels right for going into the chair, and then stand up straight. Hands in front of your heart. Find your dristi. Hold on to the wall, and let's inhale your heart, your arms, take your gaze down and across, reach for the floor and up to Utkatasana. Exhale, straighten, and we're going to fold. And let's bring our hands, bend your knees, step your feet hip width apart, palms on the earth. All right, we're going to bring our knees up as high as we can on the back of our arms. Palms are right here in front of our feet. We're going to tilt forward and breathe here. Nice long breaths. Feet can stay on the floor, or you can allow your feet to float up off the ground. Make sure your wrists are happy with doing this. Honor you. And release. Woo. And let's just keep our fingertips on the floor, get your feet planted firmly, bend your knees, and we're gonna inhale our heart, our arms all the way up. And exhale, again, arms to the sides, Samasthiti. Okay, so Utkatasana with our 2 positions right into Bakasana. All right, so let's move on to Padangusthasana, which is just a forward bend, so no worries. So I'm going to give you the side view and the front view so that you can see both angles to help you bring awareness to what you want to do with your posture. So everybody's a little different. Let's bring our feet hip width apart. Now in Padangusthasana, it's talking about our hands connecting with our feet. So our feet are hip width apart. And again, we're going to be lifting our heart and inhaling, and then we're going to exhale, squeezing our belly in as we fold. Now, every time we fold forward, I want to keep my spine straight from the top of my head to my hips. So I'm going to be folding with my straight spine. It's almost like they're locked straight, okay? No matter what, I want to keep that straight. Knees bend a little bit so that I don't hyperextend my knees back. We always bend them a little bit because our knees, they might not feel like they hurt when we hyperextend them, but eventually down the road, it will be affected and you'll find out. So please don't hyperextend them. So here we go. I'm going to show you the front view and then we'll go to the side view. So I'm always thinking about my knees, hip width apart. Inhale your heart, your arms. Now remember, every time we move our arms, they're engaged. Exhale, bend your knees so you can hinge from your hips and slowly bring your fingertips to the ground. We're going to interlace our 2 fingers and thumbs with our big toe. Pull your head forward, and then we're going to fold. Elbows go to the sides, dangle your head, pull those shoulders up and away. Breathe. Every exhale, pull your belly up and away, helping you to take your head a little closer to your toes. And then we're going to inhale, lift your heart, release your toes, take your palms, put them under your feet, toes to your wrist, and fold again. Keep those heels on the floor. And then gently bring your hands to your hips and slowly, again, knees are bent. Take that spine straight as you lift your heart all the way up. All right, let me do it sideways so you can see how it looks. So here we go. Feet hip width apart. Gaze straight forward. Remember, our drishti is always on a wall or floor or ceiling. Let's open our palms forward and inhale your heart. Your arms reach up, taking lots of oxygen in. Exhale, bend your knees, swan dive forward, dangle your head. Let's interlace our big toes with our first 2 fingers and thumb. Pull your head forward. Now, if this position is a little uncomfortable, you can always widen your stance, get your belly between. Make sure you honor you. Pull your head forward, stretch out that spine, and fold. Elbows to the sides, dangle your head, pull those shoulders up and away. Keep breathing. Every exhale, pull your belly button a little bit further in, taking your head a little closer to your toes. Inhale your heart forward, release your toes, palms come under your feet, toes to your wrist. Fold again, keep breathing. It's all in the breath. The breath helps our muscles relax, and our breath helps our muscles to gain strength. And let's bring our hands to our hips and slowly lift your chin, your heart all the way up. Whew. And that's our Padangusthasana, our forward bend. Now, forward bends are awesome for our emotional being. It brings our head below our heart, or whenever we're bringing our heart to our thighs, it really helps our emotional being. So any forward bend is awesome for that. Also, our forward bend is helping our thigh muscles, even our calf muscles, but also our spine. So as we're breathing and exhaling, when we squeeze in our bellies, we're really relaxing that lower back. So if you are doing any kind of work around the house, it's a great practice to do as you're doing your different activities, is to use your core and exhale as you're picking things up, or exhale as you're grabbing onto them to come up, engaging that core. So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the breath practice as well as Utkatasana and Padangusthasana. Namaste. Have a great night.